Greetings, greetings. Good to have you back. We're here today with the Evolutionary Idea Part 2, as promised. Also here where I'm at in the middle of a dreadful blizzard and winter storm and bitter cold temperatures. So it's good to be indoors in a nice warm place and good to be in the presence of the Council of Wisdom, the Archangels, all of those of whom I'm summoned to be present with us today. And um, I'm anxious to share with you the information that was given to me for part 2 with regard to some of the things that are going to be happening on our planet. And then they illuminated some things between the last message and this one, they being the Council of Wisdom, that um, I had referred to the fact that things would be felt with these transitions and with some of the literally earth shaking, the tremors, the volcanic action and stuff that we've been experiencing for quite a while, likely going to be on the increase. So they had pointed out to me through an actual physical and experience that was very disconcerting for me, in that not only are those dark things, the dark entities, the elementals, different types of things that have been residing on our planet that we've been cohabitating this planet with, going to see an influx of those and an exposure of them, as I said in the previous message. And by the way, if you didn't see it, you should watch the Evolutionary Idea Part 1 so you know what they're referring to, because it's progressive. Next week will be Part 3 and possibly Part 4. But back to what I was saying about having an experience. I just taught a class on transformation, and one of the things that came out in that is one of the most transformative things in our lives are not our study. That's part of it, if that's your role. It is not the aspect of learning. It is the aspect of experiencing. Actually, you have a physical experience, or you have an epiphany, or some type of revelation, an awe moment, or an aha moment, where it changes you. That's the integral part of transformation. Experiential learning is the name for it. And when you really have, you feel a physical reaction to it, like you said, your mind feels expanded. And sometimes the way that those affect us are in surprising ways. So yesterday I had a very difficult day. I was emotional. I was agitated. I was sad. I was very irritated. I was even arguing with my guides and trying to find my way. It was a very unusual feeling. And then through the course of the day, trying to figure out what was going on, I'd had some very strange dreams the night before, took me back through memories of when I was preschool even. And they were very grim memories of my past, and those types of things that we'd rather not remember. But you figure it was 60 years ago, a lot of things were different then. Some things were better, many things were worse. Our exposure to different types of abuses and those kinds of things, they were more prevalent. And the different knowledge base that we had, not understanding how detrimental it is to a person to live a life like that. So anyway, I didn't want to experience those memories, and I felt that I had already done it. I had already done the healing that was required, which was sending love and loving energy to that moment in time, in history, and also to the other people that may have been involved in it, healing for them and loving energy of the Archangel Shanuel, and letting go of it. And so when it came back again, I was trying to determine why, and it was understanding it was something very, very dark within me, not in an evil way, but something I had really suppressed. I didn't want to think about those things. Some of them experiences with neighbors, at their, what their children went through, having to look at those things again and realizing that there's we need to acknowledge how blessed we are, and be fully aware that there are people who are really struggling and really suffering in this world. And we sometimes get caught up in our, and I'm not saying petty grievances, but things that we're all right. I've survived all those things and I'm fine. But having to go back and look at those is difficult. And it creates an emotional reaction to it, which I don't have them very much anymore. And that was disconcerting. to say the least. And then when I realized I was even arguing with my archangels that work with me and with my guides, and thinking, goodness, there's something really here that I need to pursue. So, in visiting with a friend, which was very helpful, and then also I thought later it was experiential, so that I understand that the message that they shared with you on Wednesday, it states that we're going to feel these shifts in our planet. We're going to feel these shifts in our awareness, and we're going to feel the shifts in the energetic grids around us. I was thinking, we'd notice it, we'd see it on the news type of thing. And then they point out to me, oh, no, 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 dear. As those things are brought up from the planet and the elementals and the darker energies and those things that we have construed as less than good, they're going to surface in you as well. So I want to acknowledge you that I think it's important that you share this information with people, because they're going to figure out that there's something drastically different about the way that they feel. Their emotions might be high, they may be depressed, they may be angry. A lot of it, I think, is coming through in different people in an agitated state and not understanding what the heck's going on with me today. So as I explain what they're doing with the polarity in our planet and working with our 7 universal laws, they wanted me to take the time prior to doing this to point out that when they stated through me in the last session that these things would be felt beginning this month, January 2020, they wanted me to definitely elaborate on the fact that we are going to have physical within our body and our psyche, our spirit, reactions to the same things that our planet is going through as it ascends. So we're all part and parcel of this. We're all one consciousness. And so if you see an increase in agitation and people have no awareness whatsoever of what's happening universally, spiritually, it will give you a little bit of a basis to not worry so much as it would to just reach out and send a loving, loving energy. It might be neighbors. It might be students in your children's schools. There might be different things that you can take that initial step and prepare by asking Shamuel to bring in loving energy and a peaceful energy, healing energies, to calm things down a little bit. But to just know that you may go through some spiritual and physical, emotional shifts that you're not accustomed to, if you have any type of residual memories that are holding you back from your full ascension process. What I realized is my past gave me a sense of unworthiness, and not thinking that I could do even what I'm doing today, that I did not, I wasn't qualified, I wasn't deserving of it, and they're helping me to understand that I need to accept my worthiness, like all of us do, and work more with self-love and acceptance of the gifts that I've been offered, so that I can step fully into what it is that my path is. And the same is true of all of us. And I thought I had a pretty good degree of self-confidence and self-awareness. So when those really dark things start surfacing that we've shoved down and shoved down, that we don't want to look at anymore, that make us feel inadequate, then when they're released, just like through our planet, then balance is restored and we have greater balance in our lives. So thank you for letting me share that bit of personal information, but it was experiential, so I know exactly how to share it with you. So prepare yourselves, and then let me begin by reading the part 2 of the evolutionary plan. So we begin today, January 17th, 2020. I began at 12:12 again because it's very significant to the energies. And what this is about is the prophecy about the law of polarity and what they're going to be doing this month and in the future. I do not know how long that's going to continue to take place. I think until the work is done, obviously, would make sense, and I don't know how long that is. So we'll start with the 7 laws of the universe are stabilizing and fortifying to the planetary grids. The 7 laws also regulate dispensation of energy, which can be directed and utilized where it is necessary. Polarity, or opposite poles of a concept like light and dark, good and evil, is one that is being transformed and renewed. It is not that in exposing lies that it alters the state of them. It is rather in minimizing the effect deception creates by letting more truth balance the effect lies have. Lies and deception deter progressive thought by creating confusion. Confusion results in stagnation and uncertainty. Thus, if the law of polarity is recognized as an active force, then lies are minimized in value and the scales are more balanced. Balance permits certainty and thus action. People move forward with certainty and refuse action in uncertainty, or at the very least indecisiveness. Thus, we wish to smooth the path of action by dispelling lies and creating a balance in knowledge. It is not that shifts will rid the planet of laws, polarity, rhythm, gender, etc. It is that extremes will be neutralized. That's something to really, when you take away from this today, to think about that, the possibility of there being less opposite poles in everything that we see around us, good and evil, and it's such a stark difference. And to think that if it could be neutralized, how that would change our world. Think about war, think about poverty, think about humanity, think about all the things that we have these stark differences in. Today the world is in chaos, wars and rumors of wars. The radicalization of our governing bodies is great cause for dismay. However, note that the drama is getting tiresome. Many ignore most of the fools which are called your leaders. Your economy is basically self-regulating. It works until they mess with it for personal gain. Thus, people may soon realize how unnecessary governments are. The seven rays control your economy in a balanced manner. Politicians mess with the playing field to make money flow in a direction that favors politics and politicians. The seven rays adjust the economic factors that restore balance. Back and forth it swings from one strategy to the other. Some brilliant economists are about to reveal new ways of balancing the budgets of the world. First, we, the Council, and our staff must expose the fallacies of your current one-sided system. The chasm between rich and poor will begin to reflect less of an earning gap. A neutralized monetary system will grant everyone an equal chance at earning more. When the wealth is more evenly distributed, many more people will experience wealth in abundance. Neutrality of work ethics versus radicalized working and earning will grant people more time to explore the essentials of life, like love and spiritual growth. Therefore, put away old worn-out ideas about economics and socialized systems. You will be presented with new systems that offer opportunity plus equity plus equality. We trust you will see the value of new ideas versus outdated, adulterated ones. It is time for change. Just as the earth must change because it is fated, so too must mankind, and so too must the others on planet Earth. This is not to be perceived as a threat of any kind. It is merely a timely reminder of why you came or were sent to Earth in the first place. Most beings here have completely forgotten this fact. It is a premise that must be held dear. Remembrance is key. We attempt only to remind you and to encourage you all who will listen to hasten your steps. Though we do not know everything, we are sourced by gods from other universes which are greatly advanced, socially, economically, and geographically. Remember, change is creative. And you have to imagine how incredibly wondrous you can become. And let us take you there by bringing a better plan. And I thank you for the blessing. Thank you for that information. They've asked me to close today with a blessing in angelic language, in that those energies can be increased in your reaction to them, and your higher self would begin to experience that they just shared, as I spoke of earlier, that those energies that are emitted with a heavenly language, speaking in tongues, singing in tongues, etc., speaks to your spiritual energy and also your mind and your higher self. So it does become experiential. Even if you don't immediately feel it, it will create a change in you. So at this time, I would like to read this prayer. That it is my understanding that this was a prayer that Jesus prayed, particularly on events like the Gethsemane, and understanding that the whole message, as I pray this prayer, if you keep in mind, they're offering us knowledge. They're offering us change. They're offering us creative wisdom, economics, geographically, socially, different things that can make a difference, drawing upon wisdom from universes well outside of our own, and where they get their information from. Imagining that there's even greater wisdom than theirs, for me, is mind-boggling. But the whole idea behind it is there is a plan that is better than ours. And if we're willing to listen and we're willing to open our minds and hearts, they will bring that wisdom and knowledge to us. So I'm going to read again the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know not serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And I thank you for being present today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And at this time, if you just would relax, take a breath, open your minds and hearts to the energy conveyed by them through an angelic language offered through me. Receive it as a blessing. Per la sono non mandate di potere shonda la sato con mo unto che piatto lo stani. Era anto to copy so no mai anto lo shonda. Alla lino malia ko to lo anta. Era dastando per lindo che chiamo. La lino mate che shonda che dastando. Lelea sono malieno pero era alianto che amo era sano era mio non era le amo todo se naneando che ento tereno tereno non so mea. Pero la leyendo me ando en la ya pero live in grace and live in light. Cherish your time here. And again, receive spirit. Hasten your steps. Someone may have to put in your shoe. I thank you for being here today, and I do remind you to please share this message with people. If you feel inclined to, I would appreciate likes. The more people that I can reach, the more I feel as though I'm doing what the universe is really asking of me to do. And I appreciate anything that you will do to help me spur that through to other people, through sharing on your Facebook pages, sharing with your friends, and and liking and subscribing to this broadcast, please. And so, again, thank you very much for your time today, and I will see you next week. And love yourself, and I love you, and thank you again. Goodbye.